Welcome to Crypto Flywheel, the podcast where we spin up strategies to turn your digital efforts into unstoppable momentum. Now, let's get the flywheel turning. Good afternoon, Professor X. How's it going?
Good afternoon, Digital X. It's going well. Just got through half of my day and I'm ready to talk crypto. Let's go. Let's get this flywheel in motion.
Okay. I got some good topics today. Hopefully our audience will appreciate it. So if you're new into crypto, stablecoins are basically digital dollars. We're talking about stablecoins today. Crypto that stays pegged to $1. There's no crazy ups and downs like Bitcoin. This is perfect for parking your money and sending payments. But here's a big deal. In late 2025, they've changed the guidelines. Not all stablecoins are equally safe or compliant, meaning they have to follow strict rules to protect you from scams, hacks, or freezes. With new laws like the US Genius Act and Europe's MiCA regulations, or they call it MiCA, the most compliant stablecoins are the ones with top-notch regulations, with monthly audits and real reserves. I have 4 compliant stablecoins. Let's say the first one is USDC, which is from Circle. This is seen as the gold standard. It's fully MiCA approved in Europe, has monthly audits, and thriving under US reg rules. Everyone has heard of PayPal. PayPal has its stablecoin. It's called PYUSD. This is a household name, super regulated and growing fast for everyday use. We also have GUSD offered by Gemini and USDP offered by Paxos. Both of these are regulated by NYDFS, which is New York Department of Financial Services, and they're very strict with their regulatory guidelines. The last of all, we have RLUSD, a product that's offered by Ripple. This is a new kid on the block, but it's dual regulated and with 0 incidents so far. And I believe RLUSD is going to overtake the other compliant stablecoins in the near future. Also, I'm sure you guys have heard of USDT. USDT is not compliant as one may think. So there is a huge volume in it, but more scrutiny. So if you want to sleep easy, I would prefer utilizing or being involved with USDC, PYUSD, GUSD, USDP, or RLUSD.
Yeah. Well, that's quite interesting here, Digital X. I just wanted to see how this can, I wanted to add some insights into it as well. So,
Sure.
From our flywheel inside this perspective, stable coins are not about replacing the dollar or any fiat currencies. They're about upgrading how fiat moves, or specifically to what we're talking about, USDC and PYUSD and RLUSD. They're all about upgrading how the dollar moves. Every major exchange collapse has taught us that what happens is without transparency. Every stablecoin regulation effort shows where trust is being rebuilt, and every institutional pilot signals where money is actually going. The future of finance will not feel radical. It will feel faster, quieter, and more programmable when we use and integrate stablecoins into everyday transactions. Now, what else can we talk about when it comes to stablecoin? What's the differentiating factor, Digital X, between stablecoins versus central bank digital currencies? Can you make a distinction on that?
Yes, stablecoin, the reason why they're called stablecoins are because they're offered by a private entity. Like I mentioned, USDC is offered by Circle. So Circle is the company that pushes out the USDC. So just like that, we spoke about RLUSD, which is offered by Ripple, and Gemini, GUSD, and PayPal's PYUSD, right? So stablecoins, they're a form of digital payment offered by private entities. So when it comes to CBDCs are offered by a government agency. So like a central bank or the Federal Reserve. So when you hear about CBDCs, they're more pushed out through a government entity versus stable coins, which is issued by a private entity.
Well, I also wanted to add that CBDCs are being widely talked about in different governments, and it's fully decentralized and often permissionless and surveilled. Now, that's a hot topic that we could talk about when it comes to these stable coins versus central bank digital currency, CBDCs. You know, the US has shown preference for private stablecoins over CBDCs, unlike China or even Europe, the European Union. You know, they're all favoring the CBDCs. Now, we can also talk about the IMF and the BIS and how they're also kind of structuring or steering the market towards CBDCs as opposed to private stablecoins. SDT, like you mentioned before, it's offered by Tether. Tether is a company that has been around for quite some time, but they do not have a footprint. So the trust factor, and it is amassed the most market cap right now. I believe it's at over 150 billion or 140 billion in transactions. However, it also backs Bitcoin's transactions as well, and it's known as the quote unquote store of value. So for our listeners, they have to know that trust is absolutely important, and collateral is also the most important factor when it comes to dealing in stable coins and the digital asset space. So what else can you talk to about that as it relates to CBDCs and possibly even US using private stablecoins over CBDCs?
Well, this is what I feel. CBDCs and stablecoins are pretty much the same thing. One is just offered by a government agency, and the other one's from a private sector, but the intent is going to be the same.
So as far as okay, from here, why stablecoins, Digital X, are the real story, in my opinion, is because while Bitcoin may be the headline, Ethereum may be the engine as it relates to smart contracts and what have you, stablecoins are the plumbing. They move trillions annually, power tokenization, enable institution adoption, anchor digital finance to real-world value. This is why a collapse, regulation, and institutional pilots all circle back to stablecoins. So stablecoins are the plumbing infrastructure based. You know, you get Bitcoin being the most talked about and Ethereum being the facilitator of these things. But without the plumbing or stablecoins, none of real world asset tokenization and utility and banking can function accurately or seamlessly. So that's a good segue into what we could talk about next as it relates to the exchanges.
Well, this
do you
is
have anything else
right?
to add? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there's two forms of stablecoins, right? You have an algorithmic stablecoin, and you have stablecoins that are backed by US dollar or whatever it may be backed by through individual entities, right? So the reason why I brought up algorithmic stablecoins is because you wanted to get into some issues that some of these exchanges had.
Yeah, I agree. As it relates to our listeners and what can they get value out of. So if tomorrow someone wants to invest in stablecoins, is that something that they should be doing? In my opinion, stablecoins is not an asset that we should be trading or holding because it's the fundamentation of banking and infrastructure as opposed to an asset that you hold or invest in for it to have price action up or down. Wouldn't you agree to that?
Yeah, I mean, stablecoins are there to park your money in, right? Until you find the next best investment to invest into, right? So it's just a stable value that's pegged to $1. So if you have $100,000 in an investment that you wanted to sell and you wanted to hold that for the time being until you find the next great investment, what you want to do is you want to park it into a stable coin like a PYUSD, RLUSD, or USDC. So it could hold that $1 or $100,000 value for the time being till you find that next big investment.
Yes, I agree. I agree, Digital X. I just wanted to wrap up our stablecoin Go
And
ahead.
also, there's one more point. With stablecoins, you have the ability to earn yield on the value that you hold in these platforms. So
Mhm.
that's another benefit of having a stable.
Understood. Okay, that's great insight. But trying to move along with the stablecoins, I just wanted to finish off by just recapping stablecoins. So one is USDC, as you mentioned, offered by Circle. It ranks number one because why? You said that it was a monthly third-party attestation, reserves held in cash and short-term U.S. Treasuries, and then PYUSD ranks number two, and USDT or you said USDT?
No.
So the other one was USDC, PYUSD, RLUSD, and GUSD, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, so then now let's move along and let's talk about the exchanges. We talked about exchanges yesterday, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about the different exchanges that have collapsed, being the FTX collapse. So I think that happened in 2022, and it's been deemed as one of the most significant collapses in crypto history. So FTX was once the largest and most trusted cryptocurrency exchange globally before it collapsed in November of 2022. It handled billions in customer deposits, and its peak valuation was over 32 billion. So what else can you talk about, of, that has led to that collapse, DigitalX?
Okay, basically that collapse was huge. It was, I believe, it was what, 32 billion, and it was at that time the third largest exchange, right? FTX imploded after they found that Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder, misused customer funds. He commingled customer funds, I believe, in the amount of 8 to 11 billion to prop up his hedge fund, Alameda Research.
Yes,
so,
I heard that. Yeah.
So this triggered a liquidity crisis with mass withdrawals and bankruptcy for FTX and over 100 affiliates that was involved with it. Eventually, Sam Bankman was convicted of fraud and sentenced to 25 years in prison, right? So that was pretty big. This fallout caused widespread market panic, right? And it was often compared to an Enron or a Madoff type scandal.
Yeah, I mean, that was so FTX was not the first time that an exchange is completely folded right in front of our eyes. While investors' funds were on their exchanges, we had a similar one back earlier, way back about a couple years after Bitcoin was initially introduced into the space. The exchange was Mt. Gox. I think that was in 2014. That collapsed long before FTX. So Mt. Gox dominated Bitcoin trading at one point, just over like 70% of all Bitcoin transactions worldwide. In 2014, the exchange suddenly halted with withdrawals, revealing that hackers had stolen approximately 850,000 Bitcoins from its wallets. So that was a huge black swan event, and the infamous motto that came from that is not your keys, not your crypto, right? So that's why we talked about it earlier in our episodes about private keys and cold storage wallet. That became a mainstream adoption rapidly after Mt. Gox, right? So what else, what other exchanges or platforms do you know of that have had similar black swan events where people lost all their crypto?
Well, there was actually another exchange in Canada. It was called Quadriga CX back in 2019. With this one, this is a Canadian exchange that collapsed after its founder died, right? So reportedly taking access to the cold wallet keys with him. So, I mean, that was about $190 million in users' fund that was lost. Right? Later, it was revealed that there was involvement with fraud and mismanagement. So, like we mentioned yesterday, it's always important to take your crypto or assets off these exchanges because we never know what may happen. So, I mean, so we're bringing this into your attention just to make sure that it's something that's, important and something that needs to be done.
Yeah, so DigitalX, I'd like to wrap up here very shortly, but I also wanted to note one other couple of things that we should bring to the attention of our audience. A few of our listeners had asked about the Celsius network and the Voyager digital network. I had one such a guy reach out to me and told me he had parked some money into some digital assets, Bitcoin and Ethereum on Voyager Digital. And that was a platform similar to Celsius Network and all of these. And then there was another one that was Three Arrows Capital. So these three platforms actually collapsed in 2022 as well. So
there was another one as well, BlockFi. Remember BlockFi?
So, okay, BlockFi as well. So there are platforms similar that provide yield and, holding investors' digital assets, and then they collapse and the investors lose all their funds. Now, these failures collectively contributed to over $30 billion in investor losses, and this also revealed systemic vulnerabilities in all unregulated or lightly regulated crypto intermediaries. So we have to be very careful. Following the crypto flywheel, we will share with our audience all types of different areas where we can bring to your attention to safely navigate through this crypto or digital asset space. So anything further to add, Digital X?
Yeah, look, I just want to go over some. Our audience may be wondering why it happens, right? There's 4 reasons why this may happen. First is fraud. Bosses misuse customers' money, right? Second is hacks. Bad guys break in digitally. So there's a lot of hacks that goes along with this as well. Then you got bad risk. Exchanges lend out your money or invest it poorly, like an unregulated bank. So then you get panic runs. When rumors spread, everyone tries to pull out money at once and there isn't enough to go around, right? So the key lesson for our audience is it's super important. Don't keep all your crypto on exchanges if you're holding it long term. Move it to a personal wallet where you control the private keys, like a hardware wallet like we spoke about yesterday. Exchanges are great for trading, but they're not as safe as your own wallet for storing. Just remember, crypto can be exciting and has made some people wealthy, but it's risky. So my advice: to start small, learn a lot, and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
That's beautiful insight there, Digital X. And with that, our Saturday edition, I think we are going to sign off now. And thank you. The Crypto Flywheel is officially signing off. And thank you all for listening, and continue to please comment in our comment section, and let us know what you want to hear and us talk about next. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.